Hi, it's Linda from Linda's Paperworks. Have you seen these specimen slides being made by crafters on YouTube? I have lately, and I thought they looked like a lot of fun. And today we're going to make these two from one blank index card. If you want to follow along today to make some of these, you'll need some cardstock, and what I used was 3x5 index cards. These are blank. You could use lined ones as well if you wanted to. These are blank on the back, so you could fold that to the outside. And when you cut your window, if you cut it all the way through, it wouldn't show. Or if you put paper or something on the back, it would cover them up. Or you can embrace the lines and have it on the outside. It wouldn't be a bad look at all to have the lines on there. You might have to cut your slides a little bit different size, but I suppose you could have the lines going horizontally if you wanted to. Another thing you'll need is some plastic or some vellum or tracing paper, something like that, to put in the window. And I used packaging. This is a piece that was on a embossing folder that I had bought. Or you could use like what comes on sticker packages or stamping sets, anything like that. Or you could use vellum, which would work. It gives a little foggier look when you use vellum. Or tracing paper, which also has a similar effect. Or you could even use this material that's in a business window envelope. If it was big enough, it would be big enough to fit on these small ones. And some of the windows come bigger too, so you could do that. Then the other thing you would need is something to put in your specimen card. I used stamps and made these impressions. This is a fussy cut butterfly from some scrapbooking paper. This one, it has a sticker in it. But you could use a little feather or anything like that to put in whatever you want. It doesn't necessarily have to be something of nature. It could be anything that you would like to see in your card. I use my Big Shot embossing machine or die cutting machine to cut these windows. But you can also use scissors or a knife to cut it out. This one was cut with this punch, which has a 1-inch hole. So for a small one, that works just fine. But if you have a square punch or a larger round punch, you could use that as well. At the end of the video, I'll give you some ideas of how to use these specimen cards in your journals. So let's get started. On these, I use cellophane packaging. Like this was a packaging that one of my embossing folders was in. I put lace in between. This lace, which has flowers on it, and this open knit design. I stamped the butterfly on a piece of tracing paper, and then I put another piece of cellophane on top of it. Then I thought, well, that looks kind of like honeycomb. Not exactly. It's not the right number of sides to it, but we can pretend. So I decided to put a bee on this one, and he's going for the flower. And I think it's interesting that you can, if there's something dark behind it, you see the bee and the flower. If it's light behind it, you may only see the bee, or you may only see the flower if you look from the other side or something. So anyway, they're kind of interesting. I use some scrapbooking paper I have that has these butterflies on it. I just fussy cut out one of them and used some thread to make his antenna and glued in between two pieces of tea bag. I used tea bag. And then I used this matte medium. We use it with acrylic paints to make the paints more transparent, but it works as glue. And so I put that on the tea bag to make it where you can see the butterfly better. When it was just, let's see if I have a piece of tea bag here. When it was just over the butterfly, you couldn't see him very well. The detail didn't show up, but with the matte gel, it shows up better. Then the back is just plain. Well, let's get started and have some fun. I thought we'd do one that had a solid back on it. So I just used this size, the smallest size from this set, Tim Holtz, what's it called? Stacked decal is what it's called. It puts a decal edge where it's cut out, and then it has a line around it, which is kind of neat too. So, this one I didn't manipulate it in any way. I just used the die as it is. Some of these I used a different die, and I'll show you how I did that in just a minute. We'll go ahead and do this one first, though. And you can put anything on this back part here. But I had this little Youth Sings praise book choruses, and I thought it'd be fun to put just a little bit of this music behind there. So, I know, we all cringe. I'm cringing as I'm about to tear this page out. So, I'm just going to tear this corner off of here. Okay, I've done the deed. We can go back to not cringing anymore. And I'm just going to glue this down on this back panel here like that. I think that'll look good. And I'm going to use my glue stick on it. Okay. And then I'm going to wet wipe to wipe the glue off my hands. Now, I have that much room, and let's see, what do I want to put on this one? I like this sticker. This came from Dollar Tree. And there's some more packaging that I can use. It's 3D. It has this top part on here. And I am going to try to pull that off. There we go. And just use the flower on there. Oh, that's really stuck. I'm just peeling it up with my knife because I don't want it to be 3D in my slide. And I hope this is big enough to look right in there. I don't know, maybe it needs more. I wonder if this one's too big. Here we go. Try this again. I just don't want that extra bulk in there. All right, let's see how this does. Oh no, that one's kind of too big. I think I like the other one better. I guess I could put a little butterfly in there with it. Okay, I'm not liking this. So, I need to figure out what else I would like. What would I like to put in here? Let's see what we think about this one. Okay, that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to stamp this butterfly on a piece of tracing paper. And I'm going to make him black, I think. Let's see how this does. I'm going to put this on this mat and hope to get a better impression. Didn't stamp too well on the paper on my test run there, but we will try on this. I think it needs to go about right there. And I'll give it a real hard press. Okay, that worked out. This is Studio G acid-free pigment ink, and that came from Joann's Fabric. Okay, let's see how this is going to look on here. I think I like that. I'm going to tear it down just a little bit at the top so that I have more wiggle room. I can see what I'm doing. Hope I didn't tear it too much. Okay. All right, I am going to center him and glue it up here underneath where it doesn't show. And then I'll cut this off. Now I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this. Okay. There we go. A little bit high. I think I have time enough to move it down just a bit. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. And then I also want to put some of this on there, the acetate. or whatever this is called. I guess it's acetate. Okay. Hopefully that will be the right size, big enough. And I'm gluing it to this top piece so that I make sure it gets on there in the right place, just around the edge of that. Then, this is not staying stuck. Why are you not staying stuck, mister? Put glue down there too. I'm going to go ahead and cut this tracing paper back now before I glue it all together. Sides of it. It doesn't need to go all the way to the edge on that because the top will cover it. Okay. All right, that looks pretty good. Now, I'm going to go around the edge of this. And I'm going to glue that a little better on that side of that. If I can get it up. There we go. So there we have our little card. Now, I think I want the corners rounded on this one too. Okay. I think I should have put the glue under there too, and I didn't do that, but I'm going to say it's too late now. Too late now. Okay. And there. Okay. I think I've got a little extra glue right there. This is just a piece. I call it a glue eraser or a glue globber. Also a Dollar Tree item. It's just plastic, I think, but it attracts the glue and picks it up off your project, so it's very handy to have. Okay, so we have a little card. It can be used as an extra journaling spot. That's how I made that. Now, let me show you how I cut these and got the two pieces. So let me get my big shot up here. This is a 3x5 piece of scrap paper. It looks similar to craft paper. It's got texture on it. It's almost like handmade stuff. But anyway, I thought I'd use this time. And I'm going to cut it like I did these, so that we have the interior piece cut out and have the frame on the outside. So what I did is I folded it in half and pressed that down, and I'm going to put it on here like this, and just kind of look at it and get it centered pretty well like that. And then if you want to, you can put some washi tape on here to hold it down to the paper. But I've been having trouble with it pulling the paper apart, so I'm going to try this one just this way. The washi tape was sticking to the paper and pulling off a layer of it, so didn't want that. Okay. So what you do is you just roll this in until you can tell when it hits that die. because it gets harder to turn. And you just turn it until it goes past there and just a little way into the paper. And it makes noise when it comes out. Okay, and then you take it out and you turn this die around the other way and put it on. You can tell when it kind of slips into the slot. You can feel where it goes in so that it matches up really well. Those little stitch-like things, the part that's sticking up here that cuts it, fits into the slots that have already been cut. So when you put it on there, you can feel it go into the slots. And just put it wherever where you want it to fit on there. I think that's a little high, so I'm going to come down to that one, I think. And it just moved again, so I have to get it back in there. There we go. I think that's right. And then you put your plate back on top, or whatever they call those things. They don't call it plates. They call it something else, which I've forgotten again what it is. And then you just do the same thing. You get to the point where it goes on and just roll it a little ways and then back it back out again. Like that. And that gives you the two pieces. You have the frame and you have this piece. And this is two thicknesses of that. So I'm going to put that down and move this off. This die is from this set. There are 4 sizes, and then there's a die that cuts the sentiment for you. But this one, the middle, or next to the smallest size, is the one that works best for me with this. Anyway, that's the die I used on that. So, oh, there's a little leaf thing I had floating around here that was kind of cute up there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some of the cellophane on here. See if I have enough to do 2 there and yeah, I think so. I will cut this one and then I'll cut another piece off of something else. Maybe I can use that in that one. This stuff starts disappearing on the desk when I get it cut up. I'm going to go ahead and glue these down just because I don't want them disappearing into Never Never Land here. I haven't decided what I'm going to put on this, so I guess I should be thinking about that. I might do another one of the bees on with the lace. I kind of like that look. I think it's kind of cute. And on this one, I'm just going to go closer to the window edge. I think that will do fine on that. Okay. Here we go. If we want lace on there, we can cut a piece. I kind of like it with that flower to one side. So I'm going to cut just that much of that. Put the lace down. Get my makeup spreader and press it down. This has a silicone brush part to it. I guess you call that a brush. And the glue doesn't really stick to it, so it's quite handy when you're pressing things down. That is about within 2 inches there, so let me find my bee. I don't know what kind of bee that one is. It's kind of a hornet looking bee. So I'm going to use the honey looking bee again. even though he's awfully big for a honeybee. He could be a bumblebee. And I think I'm going to make him brown, since I have the brown frame around it. And I hope this will stamp, so we will see. I'm just going to stick a bee on this card. See, that stamp's really nice on the card. I don't know how well it's going to stamp on the tracing paper. Okay, I want him going toward the flower, so I'm going to put him like that. See, it just doesn't do as good a job on the tracing paper. Don't know why. Maybe it has a bit of a surface to it that repels the ink, my guess. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'll stamp it. Maybe I'll stamp it black and see how that one does. And then pick the best one. Well, the black does show up a little better. Oh, let's see. I think I'm going to use the black one after all because it is a better impression. That's really just kind of faded out. I think it needs to be cut. Okay, he's going to be on the flower this time because that's where he seems to land. So I'll just put some glue. Make sure that's not going to peek out. Yep, that's fine. Just put glue around the edge. Looks cute. I like that. I'm going to go around the edge of this on the paper with the Fabri-Tac and here, just so that it is stuck. And then fold it down and press it. Oops, a little glue coming out there. Okay, I want it to be flat, so I'm pressing it down a little bit there. So that is how you make this part. So then we have this piece, and it has the center still in it. So what I'm going to do this time, I think, is I could either use the hole punch and punch the hole, and I think I'm just going to do one side. So I don't have to decide on two designs, one to go on the back, one to go on the front. I'll just do the front. I could do that. If you had a square punch, you could use that, or I could use a knife and cut it out. On this one, what I did, I used this punch, round hole punch, normal hole punch, and punched the corners. And then I went back with my knife and cut out the pieces, which is a little more tedious because it doesn't end up as precise. But it's a junk journal, so we shouldn't worry about precise, right? You know, for simplicity's sake, I think I'm going to use the punch. So I just center it in there as best I can, just kind of looking at what's on either side. Make it about even, and then just punch it. And I forgot, this paper is not happy with the punch. Okay. So that didn't work. So much for simplicity. Okay. I'm going to flatten it out. I'm going to do something else with it. And it will be fine. Oh, I have to go back to plan A or B or C or some other plan here. This is a sharp little cutter. I'll see if it cuts it. And I'm just going to wing it. See if I can see from the bottom where I have it. There. Okay. Didn't like that either. Okay. When all else fails, scissors. Use these because they have sharp little points on them. I already have this punched out there, so I'm just going to go in here, and I'm just going to go right down here with my scissors to there, and then I'm going to turn the corner, round it around, and go straight over this way. This may not be great. It may be horrible. I may have to throw this part away. Oh, I could get too far in. Okay. That looks like a child did it. Yes, it does. Okay, well, whatever. Okay, I don't know about that. Looks like an old-fashioned TV screen. Okay, whatever. Okay, what do we think? Is that ridiculous? It's not perfect. It's not even close to perfect. But you know what? We're just going to do it. We're just going to pretend like that never happened and put a little cellophane behind it, whatever that is. There's not much room to glue it on. Okay. All right. We'll just do it. Just do it. And get that side. I can feel the glue going all over my fingers. Got that down. Like that. All right, I'm going to trim that off even. There. It's really hard to see what I'm doing. And it's probably even harder for you to see what I'm doing. This paper is very soft. I think it's almost like handmade paper. And I think that maybe it just is not stiff enough to work in the punches. And I'm surprised I even got a good die cut with it. But maybe that was because there were 2 layers on there. So maybe that was the deal. Anyway, what would we like to put on here? I think these little leaves are kind of cute. Is that enough to have on there? I know, we'll put this in there. We liked this before. I'm just going to trust that when this is glued down, put my glue up too soon, that it will all hold together and be fine. I have 2 specimen cards from the same piece of 3x5 paper. Oh, I do want to talk about this a little bit. Any square die that you have, you can try it out and see if it will work with that, running it halfway and turning around and running it the other way. This one, I used the whole die, used the whole thing, and cut out the card tag to go on a gift or something. But that made a pretty good size for the slide. Any, like this one I had, and of course these worked. And this one, the devil edge. I wanted to mention some of the things I did to embellish these, some of these a little bit after I turned off the camera earlier. This one I put an eyelet in the corner and tied a piece of jute string in there. I threaded some seed beads onto one of these bulb pins, on one of these bulb pins like these, and put a charm on that says believe. And I thought, at first I thought I'd put the believe on the one with the bee, because you've probably heard this about bumblebees really are aerodynamically unable to fly, but they do it anyway. I thought that would be fun, but I ended up putting it on this one instead for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'll put believe on here on a different way. And then this is a little feather I picked up this morning, and I just put it on a piece of tracing paper on the back with a little piece of washi tape to hold it down, and then glued the two frames together and put this sticker on that says of Nature's Magic Art, which is out of this Tim Holtz ideology clipping sticker book. And let's see, oh, this one I put a I had been cutting out yesterday some little phrases out of an old book that I had taken the insides out of it, and it says, "Who do you mean, honey?" And so I glued that down to go with the bee, a button with some embroidery floss in it to decorate that. Oh, I put a number on this one. This one I added some die cuts on the edge of it, and that was one that you hadn't seen before. So anyway, that's what I've done to embellish them a little bit. But I wanted to show you some ideas of how to use these. You may think, well, what do you do with them? They're real cute, but what do you do? So one of the ideas I had was to make a cluster with it. And this is not glued together, but it's got a piece of corrugated cardboard at the base, the lace, a stamp, and a button just to kind of be a little focal point there. And I may go ahead and do that. I don't know. I think it's cute. Could be used on a cover of a journal or on a page as kind of a tab or something. Although the corrugated cardboard is a little bit too thick to be inside a book. It kind of takes up a lot of bulk. If that bothers you, then you might not want to do it there, but it would be a cute idea for a cover of a journal. And then this one is, most of these have nature theme things, but this one I just used some dies from some die cut sets that my friend gave me, and made just a little slide summer ice cream cones, shells, and some flowers and the word, just as a fun little thing. And on this one, I'm thinking about, I have a journal that is my beach journal, Come Back to the Sea, and I've documented a couple of our trips to Gulf Shores in it. I haven't documented this year, but I did do a beginning page, and I thought this might be cute to put as a pocket or a tuck spot glued on two sides, and have a tag or something to stick in there. Another option for this slide, since it has a blank back on it, you could use it as an extra writing space and just clip it into the edge of your page with a paper clip, like that. So that was my thought for that one. The little pansy one, it's small enough that I think it would be cute to glue it down as a tab on a page, like that. And I may put that one right there. I think that's cute. This little card turned out very wonky around the edge where I cut it out by hand. But I ended up liking it a lot because of its rustic look, because it looks a little bit wonky. So I just encourage you, even though things go wrong and it doesn't work out as you'd planned it, your plan didn't work, cutting it with the punch didn't work, I persevered and I ended up with something that I really like, even though it's a little bit strange. I like it for its strangeness, and I think it looks really cute on this page. And so that's where it's going to have its home. This one has a feather. I have a feather here, a charm. And this has a feather that I just picked up on our walk this morning. It says of Nature's Magic Art. And I just thought it might be cute to just include that with this feather on that page. Just as a little something. It could be glued down as a pocket or tuck spot, or just a little thing to have in the book. This is my sample book, and you may recognize this cluster from when I did the corrugated cardboard video to begin with. And I've done quite a few things in here. Anyway, just some ideas. And this would be appropriate to put in this book because this is a sample book of different kinds of ideas. So that would be nice to have that as an idea in the book. And you could also put something underneath here, for instance, something like this. Maybe make that into a pocket and have it as a little hidden spot there. I have some other ideas for that one, so I'm going to pull it back out. This is my Sunshine Yellow Rose of Texas journal, Aunt Lala's letter, that one, that book. And I thought on this tag, it's pretty plain, and it might be cute. Let's see which one does this one. To put that little slide on there with the Imagine, just as a little extra something there, or up higher, whatever place I decided to put it would be cute. And it has the same faux stitching die cut as the card does. So that's an idea for that. And in this pocket, I thought it would be cute to have that just slipped in there, since this lace is the same lace that I used on the cover of the book. So that would be a nice tie-in on that. And then back here, well, I was thinking about this one. Just having it glued down as a tab on this to indicate that you pull it out. So that might be fun to do that. Just some ideas for how to use the different cards. Tabs, tuck spots, corner pockets, tucked into pockets, glued onto tags. I still think I'm going to do that. I like the idea of that. And as a cluster of some kind. So let's see. Did I have any other ideas on that? This little book has a corner pocket like that, so it might be cute to stick something in there. Maybe this bee in that. Be cute. So anyway, that's some various ways that these little fun items can be used. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.